Hi. So last week, this happened.
So I looked outside today and the wires apparently fell off the wind generator. So I went out, rewired them back up, and the wires were kind of warm. I didn't think anything of it because I wired it up exactly how it should be. And then I left for about a half hour. So I came back and there's nothing on the batteries for voltage or anything. Luckily I have a switch wired up to the wind generator. So if we turn this off, now the batteries show 7.2, which is much lower than what it should be at 12. So I think somehow shorted the battery with the wind generator, and they all died over the past half hour. So that's cool. I really don't know what caused that, and it's another problem I'll have to figure out in the next few days. Good deal. Oh, hey, welcome back to another beautiful damn day in northern Illinois. Alright, regarding the wind turbine, wind generator, I think maybe I hooked the wire. Oh, there's a cat. I think maybe I hooked the wires up backwards. So I got my trusty multimeter to actually check the voltage of the batteries. So I'm just going to undo these. So here's the battery wires. Hook these up to the trusty multimeter. Yeah, sorry guys, I only have two hands here. This one's positive on the red. I think maybe I did wire them up backwards, so we'll wire them up the correct way and see if it doesn't short the batteries out. Alright, I got the wires hooked back up. I think maybe they fell off before because this cord was kind of dangling in front of the blades, and maybe it clipped it when it was spinning or something. So now I'm going to go inside and check to see the battery voltage to see if they're draining or if it's shorted or not. And if not, I guess that explains my screw up. I hooked them up backwards. I'm an idiot. My batteries are dead. I gotta wait a week for them to charge again. Hopefully we'll get some sun or some wind. Whatever. Let's go check it out.
Alright, so end of story, right? I hooked the wind charge controller up and in the proper polarity to the batteries. Everything's fine, right? Apparently not. Over the few days after that, I noticed there was a slight discharge on the batteries, like the solar panels weren't charging the whole system quite as necessary. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, is figuring out if maybe by wiring the wind charge controller up in the opposite polarity, I fried it out.
And first, just to think this through, I drew a crappy diagram with the wind generator, a three-phase AC rectifier, and then a box with a bunch of other stuff that is below my education level, which might be inside the charge controller itself to regulate current voltage to the battery, obviously. So the way a three-phase rectifier works, it works for two-phase too, I guess, or whatever. There's these things right here. These are diodes, which basically allow the current to go through one way, which is the way the arrow points. And I suppose the line up at the top signifies that it can't go back the opposite way. So as the three-phase AC is made from the wind generator, it gets turned into simple positive and negative 12-volt DC to charge the battery. So what I think might have happened is by wiring the battery up backwards, the positive current can just flow right through and effectively short circuit or short out the battery. And I thought maybe there would be some protection against this idiocy if people actually pulled it off, but apparently not. So by having a bunch of 12-volt batteries flying through this rectifier circuit, it might have damaged it. Alright, the first thing I did to check this, check the health of the charge controller out there on the wooden thing, is I put all the solar stuff on its own circuit. So solar panel wires, charge controller, and then all these batteries are hooked together. This guy right here is only on the wind generator. So from a previous video I mentioned that I have a switch wired up to the whole system, so I can turn turn the wind power on and off as needed. But the first thing to notice is I have multimeter hooked up to read voltage on this battery. It's at 10.56 volts. Still hasn't got its charge back, which is why I was looking at all this stuff in the first place, just to see the solar panels. The solar panel batteries are 11.9 volts, so this is a lot lower since it hasn't been on the solar panels. But anyway, if I turn on the wind power or the wind charging circuit, you can see the voltage drops quickly, and this means that there's current flowing through the wind charge controller, and it shouldn't happen that way. If the blades spin, it should charge the battery, but if they're not spinning, there shouldn't be any current. As you can see, it's down to 10.25 volts right now, and once again, shutting this off, it jumps back up. So basically, by having this on all the time, it's just draining the battery. Another test I can do is, well, first note that the plug is melted from sending all that current through the charge controller where I had it plugged in. So this has got hot enough to melt the plastic and cause some kind of like scorch marks. So that's not a good sign, but it should still work. But anyway, another test you could do is I hooked the whole wind charge controller up, and we're gonna measure resistance. It says infinite resistance now because it's shut off. Turning it on shows yeah, about 23, 24 kilo ohms. And if you do the math, this will turn out to be a drain of about 0.001 amps through a 12 volt battery. It's pretty small still, but you know, it should be a little lower. Alright, so obviously there's a good chance that I just shorted out my wind charge controller. So the solution is to just buy a new one. I bought roughly the same model. It's slightly cheaper. This one I think only works on 12 volts, while the other one had a 12 or 24 volt system. Also, after I purchased the thing, I noticed this right here. Yeah, it's rated for 300 watts. The wind generator I bought is 400 watts, which the charge controller that came with it is rated for 600 watts. It's fine. This one's only rated for less than the output of my wind generator. So there's also a good chance that I'll hook this up. It'll get really windy, and then this thing will fry its circuits to where I'll have to buy another one. Good tip to take away from this is read the specifications before you buy anything. Just it's easy. Just check the power rating before you buy it, and you'll save some money. Anyway, so what you can do is hook this up to just compare it to the old busted one. Do the same thing. We're gonna check the resistance. As you can see, it's 2 million ohms. Yeah, where the other one was 23 kilo ohms. So this will have like what, another factor of 10 less current, which is what it should be. So we'll go outside and hook this up, take the old one out, and hopefully everything will work okay. Alright, we're outside. Pretty straightforward. All I need to do is take this off, put the new guy back on, and be sure to check the polarity of the battery before I hook the damn thing up, unlike last time. Alright, let's get started. Oh look, there's some wind and it's actually spinning. Very cool. The new charge controller is mounted. Here's the old crappy one. So now we just hook the battery up and check the polarity of the batteries. Alright, the wire on the left is positive and the wire on the right is negative. And the job's done. There was no warm wires when I hooked them up, so I'm pretty sure I wired it the correct way. Also, if you look, the little light for the battery is on. And the other two, I think it's lit up a little bit because it's daylight out. It's hard to tell if they're lit up. I'm gonna go inside, check the voltage on the battery, see, turn it off, turn it on, see what the voltage drop is. It should be better than last time. The multimeter's hooked up to the battery, shows 10.5 volts. Turn the wind power on. Oh, it still drops pretty dramatically. Alright, well, Yeah, that's unexpected. We'll just leave it and see what happens. Who cares? If the battery gets killed, it's only one battery. And maybe it'll get windy.
So I guess that's it for this video. What to say about it? I don't know. I thought I fixed the problem, but maybe not. Maybe there's a short in the wire. There's a lot of snow out there. Maybe it's shorted through there. But anyway, I'm done for the day. I'll post another video if anything exciting happens. It's supposed to be really warm on Monday and Tuesday next week, so usually if it's warm in February, it's windy. So maybe it'll charge that battery up. Thanks for watching.